Brendan, another Champions League outing, this one obviously at home. What differences will that bring for you and your side, and how much are you looking forward to and relishing the prospect of facing Lazio?
Yeah, well, I haven't been here before and experienced the Champions League nights. I'm really looking forward to it, of course. It's a game that brings the stadium into such emotion, and obviously we want to then bring that emotion onto the field. And historically, you have a great European nights here, but you want also to have the result with it. So that's what we're determined to bring to the game tomorrow. And our first one at home for this season. They're going to be really important for us, the home games. So we want to make a good start.
When you decided to make the return to Celtic, how much were you always looking forward to coming back to nights like that with the fans, under the lights and that Champions League music? Just put that into words for us as you would, what it feels like to stand on the side of the pitch and have that round about you.
Yeah, it's such a special feeling, and like you say, it was a part of coming back. You have the chance here at Celtic to qualify for European football, and this is the biggest stage you can get in club football in Europe. So as I said, we get off to, in terms of result, not a great start in the first game, but I seen many aspects of that I was pleased with the team. But to come here and play this game is always special, and like I say, it's getting that emotion from the support that rolls down off the stands onto the pitch, and that's what we have to. We have to use. So for us, really, from the first whistle, we go straight into fifth gear, look to give everything to the game and perform. And we know that at this level, teams like ourselves, we have to be 100%. You know, at 98% at this level, you'll come unstuck. So we have to be 100%, give everything, and we will do in terms of spirit. And it's where this team is at and what they're developing. You know, I see a mental strength in this team that's growing all the time, and with new players coming in, starting to understand that. And I think in our last league game, we showed what we have, which is a real competitive spirit. That even whatever time of the game it is, we will keep going. Sorry, Paul, you keeping up there? So all of that mental strength, that competitive spirit, performance on the field, and hopefully we can make it a special start to our campaign.
Just finally from me, Brendan, what do you need to see differently from your team from that Feyenoord game, which will translate into this Lazio match, to ensure that you do get that result you're looking for?
Well, clearly not losing any players off the field will help at this level. But I think there was lots of aspects of the first hour that I really liked. We were unfortunate to lose the players, I felt, in the game, but in the general flow of the game, I was pleased. We went away. We had to be strong defensively, whilst looking to play and have the confidence to play. So for me, it's a continuation, but we'll have our support. I think that the recipe for us tomorrow, and especially at this level, is bravery. You have to be brave. You have to have that courage and that conviction to play how you want to play. And I always say these are big belief games. You believe in your qualities. These players, I have no doubt, from the first whistle, will be ready to give everything to the game. And if we can go and play with that belief and that courage, then we've got a great chance of getting a result.
Good on it.
Brendan, respect that it's a Champions League press conference, but I just wanted to ask your reaction to the news that Rangers sacked their manager Michael Beale at the weekend, and just how you see it affecting the title race going forward as well.
Well, obviously, listen, I'm always saddened when any manager loses their job, no matter what club they work at. When you manage Celtic or Rangers, they're big pressure jobs, and I'm sure Michael will go away and reflect on his time here, and no doubt he'll come back in again. He's an outstanding young coach and manager, so and he'll go away and reflect on the pressure that he was under and the expectation and the stress that this job can bring, and he'll learn from it and then go on and get another job and make a success at it, I'm pretty sure. So whatever club whoever it is, it's not nice when someone loses their role and position, and I hope for him for the best for the future, of course.
Brendan, the fans here have been waiting a long time, haven't they, for a home win in the Champions League group stage? I think it was 2013. You were probably in your second year at Liverpool when that happened. Do you feel it's overdue, or is it just the fact that this is the level that shows how hard things are at this level of competition?
Yeah, well, I think it's 2 years. Obviously, a decade is a long time, but I think it demonstrates the level. But I think that's what I mentioned earlier. It's a competition that is the very elite, and even teams that roll up here that people try to say they're not in good form, or they will always have quality, and quality that can hurt you. But for us, we have the bravery to go and play our performance and play our game, and with like I said, with the supporters together, giving that extra push, then why can't it be the first win tomorrow night? So that's our mentality, and we're all ready for it. The players, the supporters will be ready for it. They always are, and hopefully we can have a good night. But we're going to have to work very hard. But as long as we can go and give our best, and play with that belief and that quality and speed in the game that we want to see, then we can pay me a really good chance.
Your captain called it a brilliant test to go up against that level of player. I presume it's the same for a manager. How much do you relish going up against some of the best coaches in the game with budgets infinitely superior to yours? Yeah,
listen, that's the challenge, whether it's in the Premier League or the Champions League or the Scottish League. It's the beauty of this sport is that there's many different challenges. Maurizio's one that I came across once before. When he was at Chelsea, so and I know his body of work, his teams, looking at them from Napoli, and the teams normally play very good football, play in a certain way, in a certain style. So and that will always cause you a problem. But it's an amazing challenge for any coach at this level, and that's always one that you embrace, and it's a big part of the way we do the job to face these challenges and see if we can come out the other side.
Brendan, what have you made of Lazio's start to the season? Is there any areas you can exploit tomorrow night?
No, listen, I look at Lazio and they're a very talented team. So we will, like I said earlier, we have to be up 100%. Okay, they may not have made the start in terms of results that they would have liked, but they still have players of quality, players that can make a difference. You've got Immobile up front, his level over a number of years and how he leads the line. Luis Alberto, like I said, I signed as a young player when he was 20, so I know his technical qualities, and I know that he can be very creative and talented player. Philippe Anderson, we've seen it at West Ham as a talented player. So for us, it's obviously not so much looking at them. Of course, we know they're a good team, but we have to bring our game to the match, and we want to play at the highest level that we can, and that means that we play with an intensity, with a speed, with a quality, and I think that obviously at home we normally have to break down defences that are low and deep. These games are normally, there's more space to play in, even though they have greater qualities, but there's more space to play, and that should suit our game style.
Given what happened on match day 1, if you're hanging on at the end, have you made a plan for who's picking up their goalkeeper if he comes into the box?
There'll be someone. Listen, it was a great header. That was obviously a good game, and then that's always something that you have to plan and prepare for. But hopefully it doesn't get to that.
Again, Brendan, I know you're concentrating on the game, but can I just get your reaction to Tom Rogic's retirement and the impact he made, certainly under your time?
Yeah, it was sad, I have to say, when I seen the news this morning. I haven't spoken to Tom yet, but when I seen it, 30 years of age is still so young in the modern game. But knowing Tom as well as I do, I know that family meant everything to him. And when you read his script of the reasons why, then I totally understand that. In terms of what he gave as a football player, my time here, he was absolutely amazing. You talk about big moments, big contribution, big goals. That normally defines the best players. And throughout his time here, certainly when I was here, and he produced all of that. His contribution in my time was second to none. He was an absolute joy to work with. He's clearly very much family orientated, and which is also nice to see. Football's our life. It's our passion, but it's not everything. Family's most important, and for him, as a young father, to spend more time with his family, then of course that was also a priority for him. So it's sad that he's bowed out at this stage of his career. However, I hope he finds the happiness, and he's left behind many great memories as a young footballer that they'll always be deemed here at Celtic as a Celtic great.
Brendan, can I just ask about team news just in general? But did Nat Phillips come through the half hour at Fir Park okay? And is Cameron Carter-Vickers, is that somebody you might take a risk with at this stage, or is he be careful with him?
Yeah, but in terms of Nat, he came through fine, so he'll be available. Cam, we wouldn't take a risk unless he was fit. He's come through really, really well. He's further down the road than we thought. So he's had a real good week of training, and he's been doing lots of other work out on the field before that. I said before that it might have been the after the international break, but he's made great progress. So we'll just assess that to see if he can be in for the squad for tomorrow, and if he is, obviously it'd be great news for us.
Okay.
I just ask as well, with your new players, do you have to almost prepare them for what they're going to experience tomorrow night with the atmosphere and with the difference between a league game and a European game? And when you were here the previous time, were there certain players in particular who would respond well to it? You kind of almost like you were saying with Tom, like big players, big moments as well.
Listen, I think the players, they have to experience it for themselves. That you can prepare, of course, and it's one of the big reasons players come here. They know that, the support here, in particular in European nights, it's a noise that's unrivaled, really. But it's not until you're in the arena that you'll sense that, and then from that gives you that extra few percent to push everything to get the result. So no, I haven't done anything in particular for that, because, like I said, it's the players get great atmospheres here in the league games. They get great support. It just gets revved up that little bit more on the European nights.
You just said that you know Sarri well, and he's worked well. His teams like to dominate the ball. So do you think there's maybe be a contrast tomorrow night, from the off? If you go at them early and his team, do you think he'll try to be equally offensive, or do you expect him maybe to sit in a bit and counter-attack a bit more?
I think it will be a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you see Lazio defend, they normally defend in 4-5-1. But like you say, I think both coaches are offensive coaches, so they want to have the ball, they want to dominate the ball, and we can only do that as much as we possibly can. But of course, being able to defend well in these games is also very important, and defend them well is one of the best ways to attack. You create more opportunities, you create more moments to be offensive, to be aggressive, and that's what we will look to do. I don't know what game Lazio will bring, but I know the type of game that we want to play, and we hope that we can ask Lazio to play the game that they don't want to play.
Okay, Immobile didn't start the match against Milan on Saturday, came on later as a sub. So would you expect anything different from a player like Castellano if he were to play from the beginning?
No, I would expect. I think when I look at Maurizio, he's changed his team in the opening games of the season. So there hasn't been one team. He's normally made a few changes for each game. So I would expect Immobile to start. Maybe be the Milan game is obviously an intense game.
Yeah.
Coming into Champions League, it's a tense game. He's a little bit older now, Immobile, so he maybe has to pick and choose the games he plays.
Okay. Brendan, it's been 7 years since your first Champions League group stage game here against Manchester City, not to make you feel old. The 3-3 game, what are your memories of that, and how much you're looking forward to going out there and experiencing it again with a very different looking Celtic side this time?
Yeah, I'm really excited by that. I think it's a game that stays will always stay in my memory for forever, really. Just from the atmosphere, and obviously Man City had arrived. It was Pep's first season. They had won 10 games in a row, and then they came to Celtic Park, and it was a fantastic game, really intense, really fast. But we showed that we could compete at the level, and the atmosphere was incredible. So the first memory of that game was really special, and even though we never had the results in some of the other games that we'd played, you just sense in the build up and the whole event that it's they're really, really great games to be involved in. So we hope that we can get off to a good start at home tomorrow. We know it's going to be a tough game. We'll need the supporters, we'll need everyone behind the team really pushing and giving us that extra push that you need to get at this level. So yeah, and then hopefully we can bring the result to the supporters.
And you had great domestic success first time around here at Celtic. We're in a decent place right now in terms of the league table, but how driven are you personally to bring European success to your own CV here at Celtic?
It's not about my CV, it's more just about, bringing the club forward at this level, which, believe it or not, is quite challenging. It's it's the very elite level, but we would. That's the aim, and that's one of the reasons why I came back, was to we looked to see if we could do something in European football. Like I said, it's something that I'm very driven and ambitious to do. But of course, you need certain profiles and certain qualities to be able to do that. But I think for us this season, I've seen it already in that first game that we're going to be competitive, and I think hopefully then we can continue to grow in the group and improve and let that start be tomorrow. So for my own CV, it's absolutely nothing to do with that. It's irrelevant to me. I'll always try and maximise what I have with the resources that I have, and do the very best that we possibly can. So the game has changed, in the last decade, financially, economically, where the game is at, which makes it very, very hard for teams like ourselves at this level. But it doesn't mean that we go into these games with any fear. We'll play with no fear and play with that bravery and see where it can take us.